we're not getting to the root cause of this stuff. Okay. Yeah. I could try to get on the same thing. Yeah. I don't know if he shows up, he'll be a little bit late, so I'll get started. All right, it's 7:01. We'll get the meeting started, or call the meeting to order, rather. Any approvals, additions, deletions to the agenda? No? All right. Has everyone had an opportunity to look at claims? Can I get a motion for claims?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Has everyone had the opportunity to look at minutes from April 20th, special meeting, regular meeting for 27th, special meeting and executive? Can I get a motion to approve minutes?
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Disconnects are there. What's that? No. Is anyone here for disconnects? I didn't see anybody on there.
I'll make a motion to go forward with this thing.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Does that include extensions?
Extensions as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right, we'll move on to department reports. First off, clerk treasurer.
So something I did not list in there, but you guys do have a packet of ordinances that Ingrid had provided. I have those in the SharePoint, but I also printed them out for you. I didn't do, you'd want to approve them tonight anyway, but if you wanted to make a separate meeting for that or just add them to the next agenda, either way, we can do that. If you guys wanted to discuss them tonight. Let's see. Some of the old business, we still have that intact proposal with Tim Clark. I mentioned to him that you guys might want to have a special meeting on that at some point to discuss that one. And then also the rate proposals, which we don't have anyone here for that, but speaking with the engineers, the SRF decision could come earlier than the July timeframe. So that one you guys might want to make a decision on as far as getting somebody for that rate study. The park toilets, there had to be an emergency request for those to get purchased, and as well as for porta potties to be out there at the ballpark. As far as families here for most of that stuff. That's and I think also I had on there non-billed water users.
Sorry.
I didn't pass those out. These are all the ones on the list. After completing that list though and getting that put out on there, some of these are actually, and I did talk with Ingrid and she emailed me back about how to handle those with letters and things, but some of these were actually ones that were turned on by accident with Atlas. So I need to find out from Ingrid how we handle those situations, because really that wouldn't be the property owners. They should be billed based on that location and having a meter, but for some of that higher consumption, have to figure out how to deal with that. And then also I put on here about a budget meeting, basically based on the new trash company and figuring out, we did budget in a little bit more for sanitation, knowing that that contract was gonna be up, but it isn't gonna be enough to cover the bill, so we need to sit down and have a discussion with that. I think that's about all I got.
Alright.
The Republic saying when they're gonna be able to pick up the toads.
I did not receive an email or anything to.
I understood they were gonna pick them up
That's
the
what,
same day.
that's what he said.
They had asked me, Tony did email me last week about if there could be a staging place for them to put the cans so the larger truck could come through. I told him if I could come up with something, I would let him know, but, I didn't see Jordan last week to have that discussion to see about if there was a place, so I was gonna get back with him on that. And the way he talked, they were gonna be coming behind and
Yeah.
not picking up anyway.
Anything else? On to Public Works, Jordan.
Austin put the cover rates off like this, help us out with the leaves and brush, and all the parts cleaned up. Got some more catch basins cleared out, as well as storage units and we're trying to get those pretty, put it around 75%, most of those fresh. Anything up off the streets, we still have some small piles and stuff like that. BJP came out last week, put a new SIM card in the water tower, panel for the data analytics for a central hub. For the new metering system, I would class that day, so I was able to, I've coordinated with Josh from BJP and, I guess we're gonna set up some training for the new meters in the near future. And that SIM card will be connected. USG water tower, brought, I think it's Strader, came out, his guy threw a drone up on top of the water tower, took photos, had a guy climb the tower, taking photos down inside the tower. It actually looks really good inside there, really clean. In 2 weeks, we should have a full report on structural integrity, things like that, and just kind of kicking around some future ideas of it as a free inspection, so, like the data, so. April monthly report of operations for water treatment and completed submitted item, which was a modern set of E-coli and telephone testing. Blower filter's been here, but we're waiting on Dustin Standish, who's getting us some oil from Kenneth Brook. Take a special type of oil and then be able to service for the blowers out of the solar pits. And here in the near future, we're gonna start fire hydrant flushing. And I guess all we got left is really just catch it up on the start spraying.
I have a question. I know Aaron Meredith is gonna get these new toilets. Is there any recommendations for us so if that happened to you?
I can speak on that. Austin, I spoke with Austin and the understanding is he wants to try and get Aaron to actually close them and open them like he does the fairgrounds every year.
Yeah, that'd be good, yeah.
I don't know what that would look like, but
It'd have to be cheaper.
what's that?
It'd have to be cheaper.
Cheaper than replacing the toilets every year, absolutely. So
I will say this about what Austin said, about Aaron was, they were discussing the volleyball parks and how they run it. And he kind of kicked around the idea of kind of going that same route. They don't have any numbers and figures, any specifics. It's just like, they don't have any issues if they're with improving or running. And Aaron did all the work up there for that, so that's all I really did on that.
It's something to look into.
is that all you got, Jordan?
That's it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Jordan.
Yep.
What day did they say that SIM card connected? Cause it's still not connecting in here.
They changed they were on the second one. Are you talking it's not connecting to your computer or? the
Right,
meter
'cause
that-
I have a meter already in the system.
You won't catch any of that data. Thank Josh.
Okay, cause that's not what he had told me.
update and everything, so when they do these meters, they'll have to go in and put like, or not malware, but firmware in it. And so he said it was going to, the network actually connected, like, so it's like a router inside a box. And they put a SIM card in it, and the first one didn't work, so the second one, and it connected, and I watched all the green lights on it. So, I don't know why it's not connected to the computer, but that's what you said about the meter, was the fact that it has to run through so many cycles before it starts actually acquiring all that data, so. Last time I heard it, I said,
Is that something we can check with him on? Aaron?
For tonight's meeting, I just have two things. I did put the MO list together, and then, before the meeting, I went back and checked on some of the properties. 3 of them were actually out mowing. So I'll turn the MO list to Jordan, either later tonight or, tomorrow. Then I forgot to bring them, but we do have our new golf cart decals in. I was gonna hold them up to everybody. They're quite a bit smaller. They look better, and they're better quality. The numbers are actually printed on, and they're laminated, so they're gonna be UV resistant. They won't fade. But they're orange and black, and they're just kind of small rectangles. So I will start passing those out tomorrow.
Good deal.
That's all.
Anything for Aaron? I do not have anything for the fire department at the moment. Moving on to business guests. First would be Commonwealth.
Thank you, Nate. I gave each of you a memo that kind of summarizes the various documents, so I'm gonna first go through just some general construction updates and then a couple of action items that include some construction documents, and then I'll finish with some updates on the center installation discussions that have been had. So with construction, water main installation has been installed, disinfected, tested, and placed into service for the entire project area. Right now, Atlas is currently working on water main abandonment for the existing undersized mains and then just older water mains in general, primarily along South Howard Street. And today they were out on State Road 55, performing the initial steps of that line abandonment. They have various punch list items left to do relating to water main installation. There's about 3 hydrants on 352 that they need to raise up, and a couple on 55 that will go down. But those are all being tracked on a punch list. And then once the line stops and final touch-up items are performed, surface restoration will be completed for the water main areas. As far as meter replacement right now, the center installation remains temporarily paused, and I'll talk more about that later. But just generally speaking, right now it's paused in the interim. I guess more specifically with restoration, I was briefly talking about this before the meeting, but the restoration for the rest of the town where work is being done to the meters will happen after the meter replacement. The reason for this is there's certain scenarios where the setter is too far underground sometimes for Atlas to manually install the meter, so they have to plug the blades off for some of them, not all of them. So surface restoration is taking place once the meters are actually installed in order to reduce the amount of disturbance they would be doing after that initial restoration. So that's the 2 phases of restoration right now. And then silt fence, as soon as the restoration happens in the project area, the silt fence will be coming out. I expect that to be, as well as Atlas expects that to be taking place here very soon for the mainline areas. Service line replacement is slated to commence for the lead and galvanized lines here in May. And then an update on the contaminated soils. The profile that was presented by Rob Bazzucci at the last meeting was accepted by the public, and Atlas expects that to be picked up within the next week. That was the update. Are there any questions or details I can elaborate on regarding the general construction status of the Division B improvements?
I don't have any.
Yes, ma'am.
When are we getting sidewalks?
Yes, okay, that's actually gonna be part of my next item.
Okay.
There's, a change order, but that'll be happening here
course
very
it is.
soon for both West Banking Street and State Road 352. There was just some, documentation for some added components to that are being finalized, but I think their schedule right now that they submitted in the month of April indicates that happening. They will, small completion of the sidewalk replacement. But I'll go into more detail about what some of the changes to the sidewalk replacement look like. Thank you. Are there any other items for general updates? Awesome, okay. So if we flip to the next page, I'm gonna give an abbreviated summary of the fourth change order. There are 5 components to that. I'll kind of go through each component, and if there's any questions or details I can elaborate on, I'll pause and allow for that. The first component is the contractor requested time extension, and Atlas has requested this for the brass materials lead time for various components in the project, 2 components to be specific. Commonwealth had acknowledged that these delays directly impact the critical path to project completion by about 120 days, slightly more than that, but it's being written as 120 days. This would change the substantial completion date from May 24th to September 21st, and then the final completion timeline would remain 30 days after the substantial completion. That would change from June 23rd to October 21st, 2026. The contractor hasn't indicated that they plan to utilize this entire window. This is just the amount of time extension that they were eligible, and Commonwealth had found that they were eligible for this extension. So that's why it's being proposed. I'm happy the change order document itself goes into more detail, but it was lead time for 2 brass components of the project. It was submitted to Commonwealth within a timely manner, and the contractor originally was still with the lead time on pace to meet the original deadlines, but it's being now that we're closer to that original substantial completion deadline, it's being formalized. Are there any general questions about that, and are there any details I can go into a little bit more about what prompted this extension?
I didn't get a chance to email you back on that, Simeon, but
Okay.
within the change order,
Mhm.
there's redacted email that talks about the setters, and then there's invoices for those setters that were delayed, but there's nothing in here. I think it might have been a typo because it said 4 cap, but is it the, what was it? Because it was the setters that were delayed and there was something else.
The core stuff.
Core stuff.
Core stuff attachment to that.
Right, there's nothing for those
Okay.
in the change order. It's only for the setters, and then it's just a redacted email.
Okay.
And it looks like the setters came in and for the invoices, they came in October,
Yeah.
November, or October. So,
So they came in last October, but Atlas, even with that delay and lead time, was still confident that they could meet the original time deadline. So that's why they didn't formalize this, or that's why I guess collectively it wasn't formalized until closer to the end of the project completion deadline originally. I can provide more documentation on the corp stops, but I should have an invoice, and then also they also should have an email stating from the manufacturer that it was a lead time of approximately what I have been 132 days. So is there, I guess, is there further,
I was just confused of why this is just me sitting in the construction meetings
Yeah.
because everything up until this point with the setters has been, oh, it's going ahead of schedule.
yeah,
And then this was already done
Yeah, paid for.
and it was already,
okay,
they'd already received it.
Got
So where the,
yeah, I understand, that's a discrepancy. I apologize if I'm not explaining that correctly. I'm more than happy to, I suppose, like redact this portion of the change order, talk with the contractor, talk with my team internally and see what the rationale for the eligibility of the extension is. And then if they are still eligible, come back with better presentation material.
Your understanding though is the setters were said to have already been here. Right?
they did have a delay. They were delayed, but it was delayed last year.
Right.
And that's what confused me as to why there was a,
So I remember now.
Okay,
I'm
Yeah,
not
I'll-
understanding that.
okay, got it. I'm sorry about that. I will try
What
to,
was happening? So,
Yeah, that's what.
okay, I'm not gonna talk about that.
want to talk about the centers. Okay, sorry. If you guys will to the final page, talk about the centers more in detail, then I can go back and finish the other components.
And that's whatever. It's
You
fine.
can go through those when we get to it.
Yeah, that's fine. I didn't know if that's what we were doing.
Yeah, I've just got a few other components of the change order, so I'm just going to, if it's all right with you, we'll cross out the time extension portion of the change order, and we won't formalize that until there's further information provided by the law. The next component is the additional West Benton Street sidewalk. Atlas is under contract to replace all the existing sidewalk that they took out for their water main installation, but there were various voids and gaps in the sidewalk, none of them very big, but there were still some gaps. So part of this change order is formalizing the sidewalk to fill those voids and eliminate the gaps. And then it also makes the intersections ADA, meet ADA standards with necessary ramps to make that ADA standard. So that consists of a $20,000 increase to the net increase to the Atlas contract amount, and in the change order document, it depicts where the additional sidewalk is going in for all the intersections.
Yeah, that's just Minton Street. What about all the other streets? Are they running the same
Yep.
problem?
Yeah, so the 352 is the next one right there, where there's been sidewalk removed. So I can briefly explain that. That sidewalk is also included as the third part of this. It was shifted, the water main wasn't originally shifted to go under that sidewalk, but it was relocated there to avoid encasement requirements due to it being within 10 feet of sanitary and close to the NDOT right of way. This was an original line item in our contract price encasement. We had about 230 feet of that, but we found that it would be cheaper to both more cost effective and better operationally to avoid the encasement, which makes it really hard to service and maintain the water main. And it would also reduce the cost to just put it under the sidewalk and resurface it. So the third component of that is directing that line item to be filled out, and then there'll be a net reduction for the reduced or for the eliminated encasement. So that sidewalk is from, let's see, a little bit, like 509 East Benton Street all the way to the Dollar General. And that's the wider sidewalk. So that's the second component of sidewalk being replaced. Are there any clarifications I can make on the sidewalk? Are there any other areas that you guys were looking at? I'm not sure. Okay. Okay. If there aren't any further questions with the third component, on South Howard Street, the fourth component, there is a net addition of one cutting cap being added. There's gonna be, total of two added and one removed. The two 10-inch cutting caps are being added to the scope. They're directly north and south of the railroad along Maple Plate, and then one cutting cap is being removed directly, the original cutting cap that was directly adjacent to the bank is being, removed, which was just an alternative way to perform the line abandonment along South Howard Street without additional excavation in what was, earlier identified as the contaminated region. Those, cutting cap locations are depicted in the plan sheets. Are there any detail or questions I can answer with the line abandonment? Okay. The fifth and final component of the change order is similar to some prior change orders that involved the third phase of pothole verification. In the month of March, there were 116 properties verified. 4 properties required remote verification, and the other 112 were standard. This proposes a $0 net increase to the contract amount, but it reallocates approximately $300,000 in funds for the water service facility side pay item to perform this pothole verification. Are there, and excuse that typo on the second bullet point, it shouldn't say February pothole verification, that should say March pothole verification. Are there any questions or concerns with that specific component of the change order? Okay. So that fifth is just that last bullet point is just a summary. I'll go ahead and cross out that 120-day increase. And if,
Yeah, I mean, if you, could get more
of
clarification
course,
on
yeah,
that.
no, absolutely, I'd be happy. Totally understand. Are the remaining components all right to be finalized in this change order?
And just for clarification, so the 42,305, that reduction,
Yes, that's a reduction. So the actual
Out of-
overall change order is
but that's a reduction from the EDA grant. But then because of that being done, it's adding 20,325 to the loan portion.
yeah.
Okay.
So we're spending 20,000 more.
Correct. Yeah, so it's, I should have broken it out into SRF and EDA, but yeah, there's an increase in, like you said, 20K for the loan people, loan component, and then reduction for the EDA grant component. It's all right to be finalized, or would you like further clarification on some of these other items as well?
No, I mean, do you guys have anything?
No.
Okay. Alright. There is a SRF disbursement being presented. It's for a 10K application. I know we'll obviously do the EDA one, but this is, the size is daunting, but for each pay application, we have to include what we've already included before and add to it basically. So that's why it's so long, but there were, for SRF components of this, it looks like there was $500,000 spent. I don't have it broken out into, grant versus loans, but 500,000 it will be in the payout document. So that's like approximately 475K in contractor payment and 25. So, is there any further detail I can go into for the March application?
Do you have any, Tina?
This one listed in the agenda. That's one.
Oh, okay.
I only have the disbursement, 30.
Oh, okay. Is that, is the first 30, is that a Commonwealth one?
Yes.
Okay. Got it. Well, I'm happy to provide a copy of that, I believe.
I think you-
should have said it.
I think you gave everybody one.
Oh.
I think I just must have missed that one.
Okay.
This isn't the one that he just sent.
No, this was, I think it should have been sent Tuesday or Wednesday of last week. Is this 29? Okay, I'm off. Yeah, this is, I was just, am I on the wrong? Let's see what it says.
30 would be for Commonwealth, 29, I believe, is for 29
Would pay out
for
10?
10.
Okay.
I don't remember what I have on my desk right now.
I had, it's somewhere in this document. I thought 29 was for pay application 9 and then 31 was for pay app
Okay.
10. I think it's, I'm pretty sure it's 31. I'm happy to.
30,
My file.
I've got it.
Okay.
31 was,
31.
um, yeah. It's got that. Well, he doesn't even, he doesn't have it. And I just printed off 30. I didn't.
When I'm done talking to you, I'll go do that and make sure that it's supposed to be 31. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I found it.
You guys have 31 and 34. Yeah.
The amount in the dispersed looks to be different.
So the amount, if they have filled out the SRF component or the disbursement part, it might just be the SRF components and the one you're seeing on the front page. What I have on that document I gave you is the total for both SRF and EPA. All of that, yeah, I normally turn off the SRF disbursement.
Yeah, the other pages are matching.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So I think that's what's.
Okay. All right, so, there's no other questions on disbursements, up to the last page and provide some updates on what we've done in the last 2 weeks with the set operation and that we talked about any of these items. I brought in that same poster that Rob Luigi would have brought in 2 weeks ago. There's been several updates, a couple of additional incidents documented. I think probably 6 or 7 additional thermal expansion tanks installed since then. The final document I provided is the table that we've been tracking more specifically the exact incident that the resident has experienced, and that has been updated some more. There's been additional residents that have contacted me that we might have already had on that map, but we've provided further updates, details, clarifications, anything of that matter. So those are the 2 documents that are the 2 things I'm providing right now. The 3 routes that Commonwealth has developed are laid out here that we've developed, not what is gonna happen per se, but just the 3 paths that we've been working with right now. There was confirmation from the Indiana Funding Agency State Revolving Fund that project funds can be used if desired for inline thermal expansion PRVs directly inside of the premise plumbing for residents that would effectively alleviate certain components from the closed system that residents have been experiencing. There have also been, with contact of Aaron Meredith and other plumbers, there's been estimates provided for standard thermal expansion tank installation costs. These, unfortunately, despite being cheaper and a lot of times the better practice, are not directly covered by the project funds due to their location in the plumbing premise. Both of those include draft notices that could be sent to residents to provide them with a understanding of the potential impacts of the ongoing work, and then the final route that is laid out here is the permanent stopping of setter installation and simply retrofitting the new meters to go on to the existing service lines. That would likely reduce the project spending and the project length some, but it would still require additional time for the retrofitting of the service lines as opposed to simply installing the meters on the new setters. So those are the updates that I came across today.
Additional time that it might take to do that, would that be absorbed within this additional 120 that we just talked
Yeah,
about? So it really wouldn't add if we're already adding 120 days.
the contractor is not indicated at this point in time that they seek another time extension. From my understanding, the 120 days that they requested was what they were eligible
Would
for,
absorb that
and it
amount.
was more than enough to do.
I have
this.
Now, we sat in meetings here before and you guys said, well, I've never really heard of this before, and it's problems with these setters. To get to a root cause, why are we the ones having all this issues?
Yeah, so I'm gonna try my best. I'm not a licensed plumber, and I don't want to speak too much to be incorrect about a certain aspect of this, but the new setters are equipped with a check valve, which is industry standard to prevent backflow into the system, particularly for cross connections. So to my understanding, that's a safety
But
measure.
they said that they've never seen a lot of these problems that we're having in our town. I don't understand, if you've never seen this problem, why are we having such a problem? You're coming up with stuff we can fix it with, but you're not coming up with a root cause.
Yeah.
You're expecting us to either put the bill or pass this on to the homeowners,
Right.
and we don't even know why. Why is it? All I got was from you and all I so I've never seen it before.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to understand.
I of course, yeah, and I would be happy to. I unfortunately would have to look into more as to why it's like Oxford as opposed to
Right.
other neighboring communities that we've worked in. I
I
don't
would
know.
like
if
to
it's
find that
existing.
out before we start passing off this.
Sure.
All these homeowners are
Understood.
they're not gonna be able to follow that.
Understood, absolutely.
Didn't Rob say when we talked last time, if they stopped installation and retrofit all of them with this, that there's money included for that? It wouldn't be at a cost to the homeowner. It would be done like between the home and the meter, but not on the resident's property,
Do we have
so
that?
to speak.
But you have much money because that price is taken down.
Well, he said that there was money to cover that.
Well,
Am I right?
With the so
Is that part of the loan or?
so the two customer side alternatives are the customer side PRV. That's the expensive one, the first one right here. The other alternatives that I think Rob might be referring to is the angle check valve, which is on the customer side, can be retrofitted, but it has to be taken out. So it can be changed. The check valve can be removed, but there's going to be a minor added cost to going in and taking out the check valve. And there's I believe there's probably value lost to removing the check valve.
And that
But
was
that
on,
was going the other.
it's on the customer side of the meter, but it's in.
Yes, so that
it's
can
at the
be done,
meter,
yeah.
not within the.
Yeah, so that, yeah, project funds, I think, I mean, and more specifically, like, SRF loan could definitely be used, and there would be certain scenarios, anytime there's a lighter galvanized line, you can use the grant funds to do that. So there's two approaches that it can be covered by, to do it, something at the.
That was,
Okay.
and you would do that that would be done at all meters. The ones that
Yeah.
haven't been done yet, and then go back and
Right, yeah.
retrofit the ones that are there.
Yeah.
To me,
Can we,
that
is
kind of
that on here? Is
protects
that
everyone.
No, but I'll make it.
Can you find out what the root cause is for this, or, you know, why are we having?
Yeah,
are we-
why Oxford in specific?
Instead of put Band-Aid on, it, let's figure out why.
Okay, understood.
Because if people don't put it in and they start having trouble, then what are we gonna do?
Give me a second, I'm gonna jot down.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Of course, yeah.
Now.
And from what I understood, it was covered, but like, yeah, you were here. He said there was monies that would cover it.
Yeah, if we can get a
If
detail.
we get it on the way that,
Loan
that
money.
it's put in yet, and retrofit the.
I wanna find out if it's loan money or grant money or what we're talking.
Okay.
And their
On
cost.
the SRF side, the EDA side will not.
Okay.
Which is loan.
Unless there's letter galvanized, then
Sure.
you can use. And so that's sort of fine.
And there weren't many of those identified.
Yeah, very few.
Yeah, there's money, yeah, there's always money.
Okay, so I'm going to report back to my team, and we're gonna look more at the root cause and what's causing this, particularly in Oxford, and then we're also going to work with the contractor, the funding agency, and get more information about what retrofitting can be done in the meter pit on the customer side, and then also look at the different funding avenues to do this.
So when you talk to them about that, is there a way that you guys can bring an estimated amount it would cost to remove check valves?
Yes.
That way we have kind of the other side of things. We're not, $1,500 for one of these inline thermal expansion relief valves. And then say that removing the check valves 1,000, or Lord, I hope not, but
Yeah.
so we have something to compare.
Absolutely.
Got that one?
Yeah.
What's the difference between the expansion tank and this pressure relief valve?
So, again, to my understanding, I don't wanna speak incorrectly, but a
Yeah.
thermal expansion tank is located directly upstream of the
Yep.
water heater, and it's, I think it's oftentimes considered the best practice, but from our, conversations with the, Indiana State, SRF funding side, they draw a line within X amount of feet of the interior plumbing.
Sure.
premise. So in our eyes, it's all interior plumbing, and it should be the same as the PRV, but they draw a separate line. So that's why we're sort of separating the two.
I guess, sorry, my question is what's operationally, what's the difference? Is this just a pop off valve that your water heater normally
No,
has that lets?
I think this PRV isn't that. It would route excess water at like a much lower PSI. It's not gonna pop off as high. It would route it to, an interior sump, an interior French lick, any sort of drain possible. And it's not a lot of water, so I think when this PRV opens up, it's not gushing out water, it's just minor amounts that it drips out. So I think it's similar to a water heater where you have your PRV drip some, but it's just a lower amount. And I think, to my understanding from talking to the contractor, the primary cost of this installation isn't the actual valve itself, it's the variability that can be at each house to route this to a specific.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. If this is just essentially a blow-off valve, a pressure relief valve, and that water's got to go somewhere. I'm gonna say the majority of residences here don't have a sump, or, you know, where's it gonna go once
Yeah,
it's in the crawl space or wherever it's at, you know what I mean?
Right,
So
for sure.
with
And
the,
I- and I think my understanding, I don't know, I'll be honest, I don't know about the specifics for if it's in a basement without
Sure.
a sump or without a drain. I do know that in a crawl space, it's safe to just shoot out. It's not, it doesn't produce enough water for it to, I think, pose any structural concerns or stability concerns. I think, to my understanding, it's a very minimal amount of water that it shoots out. So as long as it's, and again, I don't honestly, I'll have to find out to see what the ramifications are for it if it is on like a non-pervious surface. But my understanding is it's good to go in crawl spaces, good to go in any basement where there's a drain or sump. I just don't know about the other scenario where it's in the basement.
Yep.
I will look into that though.
Yeah.
Like before, actually.
Yeah, once you get done.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I'm good on that. When it comes, once you get all that, you know, we can talk about that more. Regarding the letter, there needs to be something in this letter, right? By reading this, if I gave this to anybody sitting here, and I know it's nothing towards you, right? But it's just the facts. If I gave this letter to any one of these people here and said, hey, this is going to be sent to your house without any sort of notification or anything like that, right? This is showing that me, myself, as the council president, looks as if it's an afterthought, right? Like, oh, let's push these out to try to make people feel good, but there's no explanation as to what occurred and why we're in the position we're in. So there needs to be, I guess, some ownership or explanation as to one, why these are being sent out now after we've replaced, 95% of the setters and or meters and have this issue now. There's got to be some sort of explanation as to why this is being sent out and what happened, right? I know it's not easy. That doesn't make Commonwealth feel good as a company. And I know it's not you specifically, but there's just got to be some sort of context, because if not, then we're going to have people in Groves in here looking at me. Why are you sending this out now? This is a joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So,
Yeah, no, please give me any and all
Yeah,
feedback.
finding the root cause too is gonna help.
Absolutely.
those are my main concerns.
Okay. Are there any other questions or concerns from either the council or members in the audience that I can try to answer or direct at this time?
I got nothing.
That brings me to the end of what I can present. So I will, Tina, if it's all right with you, we'll plan to not execute the time extension as a part of this change order and redact that for a time where I come more prepared to better explain that.
Still their decision. I just.
Up to you guys.
I think that's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming.
Of course.
Before we get too far into this, do we need to approve the addition of 31 disbursement since it's not on there, or?
If you guys want to add that to there, and then I
Yeah.
can print out that disbursement form, because everything else is in the packet that Simeon provided. I'll just get that.
Can I get a motion to add the SRF disbursement 31 and PPA December 10?
I'll make a motion.
Can I get a second?
Is that part of this?
Just to add it to the agenda.
Yes. So this, the
Oh,
last packet, it just
Okay.
wasn't added to the agenda.
I got you. Okay.
Can I get a second on that?
I'll second.
All in favor?
All
All right. Moving on, Emily?
All right, so you guys have for your consideration tonight, EDA reimbursement number 3. This is a reflection of the reimbursement on pay application number 8. So EDA is a little bit lagging. on the reimbursements, just because we are making sure and waiting that that money is readily available for county development portion, because that is a reimbursement grant. So we have to spend the money to get the money. So that amount that we are submitting for reimbursement on, contractor wise is $106,236. We updated that reimbursement request to actually include, the eligible $4,000 reimbursement for Curbsy invoice, milestone number 1. So that actually brings the total reimbursement request to $110,236. We will be submitting this to EDA tomorrow, for them to work through their approvals. We will be getting EDA 2, any day now. And then, so that will get our contractor actually paid up on pay application 8. So we will be working through on pay application number 9 and hopefully number 10 at the county. That will go to the commissioners at their second meeting. So just be forewarned, I will be back here next month to see you all again. You're also going to see down here Benton County invoices 4 and 5. Just so you know, Benton County invoice 4 covers pay applications 6 and 7, which are part of that reimbursement that Tina will receive any day now. And number 5 is a reflection of pay application number 8, and it breaks down what the county portion is, which is essentially what the town portion is. So that is where we are at on EDA reimbursement. It is taking just a little bit longer to get all of the paperwork processed on their side. My project manager probably hates me because I keep bugging her persistently. I do want to make you all aware, so EDA will only reimburse up to 90%. We are currently with pay application number 8, sitting where things are processed right now. We are at about 78%. So we are going to have to start watching our expenditures as it comes out, because we will have to essentially just make sure that we can get those final bills paid. And then we will be sitting on that remaining 10% to be reimbursed at project closeout. So I want you to all be aware of that. And we will be working through that as we get into this final stretch of things. I did also, are there any questions on the EDA portion? Anything? Okay. I do want to bring to your attention, Tina, you should have got this in your email already about our board meeting on the 28th. Hopefully you know what friend you're bringing, because we're encouraging our board to bring another person from their community. We are holding our board meeting in conjunction with the presentation from the Indiana Office of Technology. They are speaking on cybersecurity, and they are providing an overview of the free opportunities that they have for communities to take advantage of, but also some of their lower cost options. We will also be having a local consultant there that specializes in smaller municipal cybersecurity packages. So we all know this is, I don't want to say it's a hot topic, because it's not a hot topic. It's a topic we should all be concerned about. But this is looking at, how are your accounts set up, and, specifically, how does this impact your utilities, all of this stuff. So Tina, you may want to bring Tina, or Nate, you are welcome to come. So that is, yeah, be your friend. So the more the merrier. So far, I have one community that they're like, we're going to be the best community because we have 3 people coming. So you guys want to be up for that. So that is on May 28th. And that is at 7 o'clock. We are doing a change of location. That is typically in Monon at our office, but it is actually just going to be just north at Meadow Spring. And it's an event center, so that is my challenge to my board members of, I'm paying for an event rental, please make it worth my money. So it should be a really great opportunity, for not only networking within the region, but
What time is that?
that is at 7 o'clock. So, and just let me know who's coming from you guys, and, so we can make sure that we get a proper head count.
Thank you.
That's all I got.
Does anybody have anything else for Emily? Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
On to Parks and Trails Committee. Thank you guys for coming.
We just wanted to report a little bit on what's been happening down at Old Academy Park lately. And actually, things are going really well, faster than we had anticipated, especially after we spent 2 years planning everything. So it's going very quickly and very well. And we'd like to thank anyone in the community that came out to help on cleanup day. It went well, and all the leaves were picked up and raked up, and lots of help. And yes, and then a couple of days later, Don picked up with one of the community members' tractors, Wayne Stevenson, and got them all down to the asphalt road. So maybe the town people would have a better chance of picking them up when they get around to that. So we thank everybody that helped with that. And then we had some people that cleaned the white fence, which part of it, they scrubbed on it all afternoon, I think. And that part looks nice. And some of it needs repaired and finished cleaning. And I don't know if any of you, or it's in the records anywhere, or if anyone knows when the fence was put up, or where it was purchased, or anything like that, so we can get repairs, because some of the posts and things are broken. So I don't know if anyone knows anything about that, and that'd be good to know. Otherwise, we'll have to research and find out if we can find something like it. So there's much more work to be done down there, but it's a very good start. So anyone that wants to help will maybe try to get another group together. And maybe I should just put a plug in for our yard sale that'll be there at Academy Park on the all town yard sale thing on the 15th and 16th. And so we hope to make a little more money to go to the park for that. And there's a couple of things then that we want to bring before the council. One is, and I saw on your paper, you have a lot of talking about toilets. Well, here's another one.
Yeah.
We would like to get the restroom all updated and repaired, because the urinal has been broken, I know now, for some time. I don't know how it's broken or what's broken on it, but it hasn't been used for quite a while. So we would like the town to purchase one and get it installed. And I think that Don researched, and you could get one for around $300, but possibly you have a place where you get them anyway. I don't know if the town buys them. If the old control valve works, then it may cost more, but I guess we'll have to see what is really wrong with it. So,
cost if you need a control valve.
Right.
also, we would like to buy a product that goes on the outside walls of the block building that makes it smooth and you don't see the box, and then we would paint it. So that's one of the things we would like to ask if we could do that. And if the town would buy the material for that purpose, we would do the work on that. So our next one was the plan of how we're having water available there. And we're going to get a non-refrigerated, manual filtered stainless steel, this is hard to say, bottled water filling station. So that's where you would just fill your bottle and the water. It doesn't have a drinking fountain in it. And So that would include, a vandal-proof hose bib for putting the hose on for power washing and all that stuff. So, let's see, that would be, located on the east side of the, restroom area, in the picnic, where the picnic tables are located. And it'd be undercover that way too. So,
Easy to drain with the whole system.
Right,
That was Aaron's idea, was to put it there.
right.
A lot easier to service.
Yeah.
Winterize.
Absolutely.
so Don had asked, Aaron Meredith to give us a bid on that project. And, Aaron, let's see, the bid is $3,684 installed. We're not talking big money like over here. But yeah, we would like, to be able to do that. That money would come from our foundation in case, and instead of maybe the town would want to do that for us, but we would take our money from the foundation for that people have donated. We need to get that part as soon as possible to, power wash after they're through with the dirt flying around and the cement dust and all that. So, we would ask if, you would have it, let us do that. We are still short some funds of money, so we'll be asking more people if they'd like to donate. And, we have applied for 2 grants, but we're not sure, what we're going to get or if we're going to get any. But we would just like to have you to do as much as you can. And I have, some pictures here of the things that we're talking about. And I also have a paper if anyone wants to take it to read, just what I really talked about.
Yeah.
So anyone would like one of those. And then this is the, pictures you can pass around. This is the pickleball court is now, and they're getting ready to pour the cement on all of the part they have marked there with the. And then this is the bottled water place. And this is the bathroom. So that we're talking about. So we appreciate your attention.
Thank you very much.
I'm gonna pass that picture around to the crowd in here too.
Yeah.
Now, you guys requested toilets in there, right? Looks like you didn't do anything to it. Well, maybe you should have Aaron look at that, 'cause, I mean, we have to take care of our bathroom.
Yeah, we were thinking if the town workers were still trying to catch on to everything and they were busy, that maybe Aaron would do that part too.
We have rentals coming up over there too.
Hmm.
We have people that have already rented out the space over there
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, we went that out to see, make decent. The operation.
We need the restroom open for the.
We're dry of it. We didn't budget much
Yes.
of anything else work, so. Even to cover these toilets, we're gonna have to, that's why we need to have a budget meeting.
Yeah.
And then I was also gonna get with Ingrid on, get with Ingrid on, because this is more than the slab, this is building and figuring out as far as asset, because we need to be insurance and things like that, the
Yeah.
asset, putting this as a town asset, and, but I don't have any of that information as far as the construction and the cost and all
Yeah, is
of
there
that.
a way you can get us like some kind of valuation of what you want done to that building? Like an estimate for what you want done to the building?
Okay, for cleaning and.
That would be my thing,
Yeah.
the coating for the cement blocks.
We still have to have all of it. We're a numbers bench.
We
Okay,
would do the labor.
Thank
The
you
only
guys.
thing left on the pickleball courts is post and the nest to be put up, and that's after they get a finish and the colors and everything. And there's another coating and everything's gotta go on that whole court next. And then the nests and the posts and stuff will be finished, but the concrete's supposed to be poured next week after we get this thing fixed, the inspection hole they get with the excavator, when they were trying to start where the concrete's gonna go, so.
Yeah.
That has to be fixed before we pour concrete.
And Don, can I get a copy of the contract and
Which one?
for everything that's, all that stuff being done out there for?
Thank you. I know once we get towards the end here, we're gonna schedule a budget meeting just because everything that's coming out at once. And then we can, during that, discuss the items that you have listed here.
We're only short $50,000 right now.
We don't have that.
Only,
I don't think we get that in our community sale, but.
right.
We never know.
And then when we have an estimate for 4 light fixtures and timer and so forth, that's another $18,000.
I believe that.
So when things get more expensive,
Absolutely.
we're over 200,000.
Right. Yeah, so we'll get that scheduled and then we'll be able to give you more information regarding possibility of. All right, Discover Oxford, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I think I'll be a happy note today. I think, Tina, did you include a packet on, this, proposal is for some new trees on Church Square. And I think it's maybe a little long overdue. I contacted Clark's Nursery and they prepared a site map and proposal for trees for the park, along with water bags to keep them watered, posts that go along with it for support. This is coming through Discover Oxford. However, the gift was from our wonderful Methodist church. And when the church closed, they were so gracious in giving Discover Oxford money for the new trees for the park. And so I would like your approval if you would do so. The estimate also, there's a dead tree in the park right now that I understand it, the town didn't have money to take it down. And this proposal does include that.
Okay.
It just wasn't done.
So
Because
that's why
we're
I'm
supposed to be
here.
done by the town
And
guys.
if you can give your okey dokey tonight,
Oh,
I'll contact the nursery, and I know it has to be marked with utilities and that sort of thing, but, the site plan, and I think you should have that in your packet or, yeah. So,
It looks good.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Thank you so much. All right, moving on to public comment. Anybody have anything?
Concerning the park, we eventually would like to paint the pavilion too.
That would, yeah, that would,
Get permission to do that.
all right.
I got a question.
I figured you did.
He said there was an extra $20,000 for ADA compliant ramps along Benton Street,
Yes, sir.
352. The state came through 3 years ago and surveyed all that with plans for in 2026 making all those intersections ADA compliant. And the state was going to pay for that and take care of that. Now,
It's been pushed out.
the town shouldn't be tacked on. If you got a $20,000 bill, maybe you ought to send it to the state instead of to the town. Now, I don't know all there is to know about that, but that's just what, that's what the engineer told me 3 years ago, that it would not be done until 2026.
That got extended out.
We need to find out about that. Yeah, because the state will take care of that, maybe for us to.
Was this like a road project that was also going to do the sidewalks without?
Yes.
We had a CCND.
Yeah.
project.
It was from the sidewalk to the intersection.
What about that?
State.
Benton, I thought that NDOT was further west, so.
We need to find out about that, because I know there was talk about those bricks, and we were talking about the whole thing.
Got it.
I've mentioned that to Rob before.
Yeah, well.
I just don't know when
that. On it from this chamber as well, so I find out more about.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
It still is helpful. Thank you for that, sir.
Another thing, on changing over the garbage pickup days and where the blue can's gonna be removed, do you have any idea?
We were directly told by Republic that they were going to follow their trucks around today and pick the cans up. And when I know, and I came home from work, they were still sitting there. So, we haven't heard anything from them, so we're gonna reach out and see what their plan is. I know there was talks about wanting to potentially put them in a central location for them to pick them up, but we're gonna have to see if that's something that's doable or not.
Oh, what is the name of the new company that's gonna be picking up garbage, and what are the rules or regulations?
Indiana Waste Service,
Indiana Waste Service,
yep. Every Tuesday,
Tuesday,
yep, they will pick it up. If they're providing one can, if you have a second can that's personally owned, you can set that out as well for no extra cost. They'll take that one as well. Unfortunately, with them, if you wanted a second matching can from Indiana Waste, it would be $72 or $74 paid directly to them per year.
$74 per year.
Yes, for your second tote, if you wanted a second tote.
Or you can purchase one yourself, one-time cost. Menards, Walmart, I've looked them up. You can purchase one yourself.
Does that need to be the 96 gallon?
But they're gonna be picking up
No.
on Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Smaller, yep, any
He said
Any
Tuesday
smaller
at their
can.
truck. If it's.
But it'd still be the truck. driving.
correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
And basically, it's the same rules, no brush, no batteries, no paint. I mean, all of the same things apply to what's allowed, I guess.
In addition to the 2 cans, one provided by Indiana Waste Service, they'll also pick up one large item from your residence every week for no additional cost. I don't have in front of me what that one additional item can be, but if they made mention of a mattress, a couch, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Desk, furniture.
On the website.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't have it in front of me. So,
How about for businesses though?
And I assume,
Is there any exemption for businesses?
if you're utilizing the trash service, my understanding is,
I mean, as far as, getting extra cans, like at West Longford Agri-Sales down here. we
Yep.
got 2,
right,
and, I think my understanding maybe with the previous, we could have got 3 if we wanted. We've made 2 work, but one's gonna be
pushing it.
pushing it, so I know we can purchase one or get one on our own.
Yeah.
But is there any exemption for businesses? I mean, as far as.
There's not to our understanding, no.
Be the same business, that'd be the same trash service that picks up from, say, the Dollar General or the gas station. Are they taking over those as part of the town,
If,
or they got their own contract?
They already have their contracts
Yeah.
separately
But yeah, through a separate,
with Indiana Waste.
with Indiana Waste.
Mhm.
So,
He said he already services the Dollar General here and in Boswell.
the Dollar General though, so then is the DG getting like an exemption from the town for that?
No,
So they're still saying, they'll still pay the same.
the ordinance states that everybody pays that.
Okay.
yeah, so, and then, like, if you were to work out an extra can through them,
Right.
that would go directly between Agri-Sales and them, so that wouldn't come through the town. We would have no knowledge on our end of that, just because it doesn't come through here. So, yes,
There used to be a rule in town, every Friday they would pick up all your sticks. Is that still effective?
That's part of the ordinance that's being,
That's in your ordinance.
that's,
Yeah.
It's been done like that for years and
Yeah.
years. Yeah.
What about this one?
That's
For the winter.
the
for
ones that they
winter,
requested
You
to
gotta fix
remove.
that up.
When we,
But it's in our ordinance, so you have to do it.
when,
Yeah.
when we
That's
talked about the ordinances, that was one of the ones that was
To be repealed.
to be repealed.
What's it say?
In this packet.
Yeah, yeah.
Wood
I was gonna say,
chipping,
when is that effective?
Yeah, it's not, it's
I
not,
thought
still
that
part of the
we're
ordinance,
still under the
And-
old.
and it is specifically for wood chipping,
but we're not wood chipping.
but that's what's done on Fridays.
Right.
In the ordinance
So picking up of sticks would,
for the
Would be
wood
right.
chipping.
correct. We'd still pick up brush. Just wouldn't be chipping it with
But right,
the,
right now, the ordinance still states we're doing.
That you're picking it up for wood chipping on Fridays.
Because you're not supplying the barrels anymore for us to burn them. So what are we supposed to do with them if the town's not gonna pick them up?
well,
They can still burn.
they need to pick up, yeah,
Community that I came from would pick up, I think it was the second Tuesday of every month, pick a day, and we had to bag all of our leaves and weeds and whatever all the year through, except for winter months. And we knew that the town came along on that Tuesday and picked it up along with the sticks.
Yep.
And residents knew that, and you
Right.
had to haul it out to the street, and bing bang, it's done.
right,
Yeah. Every Friday, pick up the brush. This, yeah, but this, in Monticello, it was once a month. But,
Right.
you know. Well, they have even more work if they did it once a month because it would build up. And,
right.
I mean, it makes more sense to do it once a week. Well, the manpower.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say with,
2 weeks would be good. Yeah.
right,
I don't understand why it was done for years and years and years, and all of a sudden we're not able to do that.
that is, yeah, I understand.
I think it's because we actually had someone here who cared about this town, and now we don't. That's what I think personally.
And that's fine. I think initial onboarding, obviously, we've said it before, is been slow to take off. We've got to get an understanding there, but no, this is absolutely something that will be addressed and we'll take it from there. All right. Moving on to old business. The NTAC proposal with Tim Clark, we need to table that one for our budget meeting. Moving on to the rate study proposals.
These are my originals.
Make sure we keep.
No, they weren't emailed, so I don't have other copies. And this is, Sean was the one that had came into the meeting and talked to you guys. Klein Peter, and Maureen had reached out to me and said that the SRF applications generally, she had said that, they had said that those were usually, a determination was around July, sometimes August.
Right, you're gonna be moved up.
That they've been hearing that that could be possibly this month. So with that, what happens is when they first start bringing that information of who they're thinking about, they would want to reach out to the people who, with the town has chosen for the rate study with the municipal advisor to kind of get deeper dive answers and financials and things like that, so.
This is just 11 that they decided.
No.
So that's costing now.
Page back.
These are hourly rates.
Oh, so that was just 6 to 8,000.
I think Klein Peter was about the same if you got water and wastewater study done, which would be up to you guys, but then you could have it all done
At once.
at.
That's how the hourly
Gotcha.
Who's the other one? Crone?
Who did we talk to that night? Was that Crane?
No, it was Klein Peter.
Who was Crane?
I met with him on a Zoom and, I mean, they were both really comparable. What I liked about, Crone was they actually work in the general budget as well. So it wouldn't just be set with water and wastewater, where Klein Peter is set with just water and wastewater. However, I have Treva at the moment, so, you know, that would be more of a head thought. You guys are needing to look at somebody for the water and wastewater at the moment for rate studies,
Oh,
so.
I know, even back in- I know that was the first time I heard of him.
Crone.
That was the first time I heard of him.
Put the, I put them out at the last meeting,
Yeah.
on both of the proposals too. And if you guys were gonna do the budget meeting sooner rather than later, you could just table those again towards that. I would just
Jeff was in-
need to
Yeah.
get closer to a decision on.
We'll get that scheduled. So we're gonna table the rate study proposals for the budget meeting. Park toilets,
I would make a motion to have it in there. Look at that.
this is regarding,
This is regarding that he's already ordered them. It was an emergency purchase.
so, emergency purchase for the totes
Okay,
at the Ball Diamonds.
okay, this doesn't include all academy.
We've yet to receive his quote for installation costs.
Okay.
Therefore, we can't, yeah,
This would just be a pre-approval for paying for that because he's already ordered them.
upon delivery.
Yes, on delivery.
So I make a motion to go ahead and pay them. Yeah, I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
The thermal expansion device, we're gonna table that, wait on more information from Simeon and Rob. We talked about it a little bit, the letter regarding the setters and thermal expansion valves, getting that reworked. So we'll table that for the new draft. The pickleball court items. So we talked about looking at the,
sealer coating.
right, the budget meeting, and then upon getting an idea as to what those would cost. We just don't have any way of giving you a yes or no, whether or not the town would be able to pay for that 3,684 at the moment without looking at that budget. So, I mean, I think probably speaking for the board, we would give you guys permission to do that if you wanted and or needed. I know you spoke about needing it done sooner than later. If you wanted to have that installed and paid for by you guys, we would give you that permission. However, if we wanted to look farther into whether the town would be able to pay for it or not, we'd need to have that budget meeting to decide that. So I think it'd be up to you guys on whether you wanted to pursue that, you know, before the meeting. If you did, obviously, like I said, we would, I think, be in agreement to give you that permission, but we just couldn't.
We'll go ahead and get some estimates together.
Yeah. And we'll talk about those.
Is there gonna be a lock on the water?
Pardon?
It's because they talked about pressure washing.
So it'll be a tamper-proof hose bib on the wall. So it's got a key, a special key
Okay.
way that you gotta have that. It looks almost like a small four-way that you'd change the tire with. Yeah, you would have to have the key itself to turn it on, so it'd be,
There's no place in the whole park right now. to hook up.
right. So that portion would be tamper-proof. Then the water bottle filling station is an automatic shut off, turn on with motion up to it.
No, it's automatic, I mean, it's not automatic,
It's
it's
manual.
with a butt manual.
Okay, I thought I saw the motion.
Automatic.
Yeah, okay.
And you got some electricity charging with old Bay electricity for this one.
Okay.
So,
So we'll look at budget on that, and then you're gonna look at prices. Yeah.
We'll talk about that, but there's emergency to it, so we may just put it out of park flood
And that's,
look to you guys for help us pay for the rest of the things that need to be done to that building.
right. Yeah, and that's why my thought process was you mentioned urgency, so I think, like I said, we would give you permission to do that. But if we wanted to try and pull it from the town, we'd have to just look at the budget, so.
Yeah, if you would both give us permission to do it, I think we'll probably move ahead and do it.
Okay.
But the urinal also should be done.
Right.
We would
We'll
prefer
take,
to
we'll
have
take care of
pay
that.
for that instead of us.
Okay, yeah.
I agree.
So can I get a motion to approve the hose bib and water fill station installed by the Parks and Trails Committee?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Then we're gonna have Aaron look at the quotes, I think.
Yeah, he's, like I say, he's still gotta write us a quote on labor for the ones up at the ball
You gonna
diamonds.
call in to make sure he looks at that?
Yeah, that's open for,
You did or you will?
I did, I talked to them on Friday, they'll call me
About Old Academy?
then.
Moving on to new business, SRF disbursements 30 and 31. Can I get a motion on those?
I'll make a motion.
And pay out 10.
Yeah, sorry, and pay app 10.
I'll second
All in favor? EDA number 3.
it.
It went from 106 to 110.
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Benton County invoices number 4 and 5. Can I get a motion on those?
I'll make that motion.
All in favor? What's that?
I did add that again.
The emergency purchase for the ballpark toilets through Aaron Meredith.
I'm already just gonna-
That's the yellow
Yeah.
quote to pay him upon delivery of the toilets.
Which you guys, yeah, you guys did that one. I just
Oh,
put it in
sorry.
there twice. No.
Yeah. What was in there?
Autopilot. The service and sanitation, or
This
service and
was,
sanitation.
An emergency purchase, extend out service sanitation. That one has, Jordan did do a note
What
for
is
the
this
purchase
for?
policy.
The Porta John extension at the park.
And I'm not sure, his letter says 2 months, that it was needed, that we needed those for 2 months.
Well, and then we talked to Aaron, like I said, on Friday, he gave us 2 weeks, so we don't have a pickup date for the porta potties, so we were talking maybe, 2 weeks before we could possibly get them here, get them in, and so we wanted 2 months initially, but then that's why I broke it down to 2 months, because we know we need to be online.
So my understanding is they're okay if we call them early to pick up.
Yes, but I'm not sure if they'll charge you the full month or not.
Oh,
I believe so, because it's usually 28 days.
Well, let's
Okay.
find that
Yeah.
out.
For the full month
Can
of
we
May.
find that out for sure?
We need to approve something there, though. You want to approve 1 month?
the month of May.
I'll start with the month of May.
which I think that invoice is just through 5/21.
Yeah,
It has two separate on it.
Well, one we
Oh,
just
the
paid.
invoice, I got you.
yeah.
You can scratch off
We need
H.
to find out for sure. I don't know.
Scratch off which one?
Okay.
Thought it said on there 5/21.
Yeah, service period through 5/21.
Well, what can we get it if we go to the end of the month? Or is
They do
5/21 gonna be
20,
on
they
there?
usually do 28 days.
So it would be
When did he say he can sell his toilet?
He said on Friday, he said that he said 2 weeks. They should do it.
Well, they should be here, but how long is it gonna take him to install them? Can you find that out?
I'll ask that good question. He said,
So we need-
You'll live 2 weeks from today.
we'll just approve this,
The 21st.
yeah, through 5/21. And then Aaron will get on those.
And who let me know.
All right. So who had my motions on that?
I make a motion that we accept it through the month of May for the 21st.
The 21st.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
We get a motion for the tree planting and removal request for the Discover Oxford.
I make a motion.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you again for that.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Regarding the non-billed
Yeah.
water users,
What do you want us to do?
I'm gonna get more information on
We'll
how to,
table it.
yeah.
what dates work for a budget meeting?
I'm with Donna. On the 23rd.
You will.
I'll be gone on the 22nd.
Can we
What
do,
about that Wednesday?
can we do the 12th?
Fine.
Monday or Tuesday, the 12th?
Yeah.
What time works for everybody?
6?
Yeah.
Terry?
Hmm?
What time is good on that? 12 for you, Tuesday, the 12th, budget meeting?
Right?
Oh.
Okay. That's why we wanted it on the 12th.
I don't care what time.
6, that's fine. Does that work for you, Tina?
and I can
What's that?
mark out the next ones. Because I just got.
We're going to,
Repeat.
we just got doubles for the sanitation and Aaron Meredith there. Any around the table concerns?
I'm concerned about Pam's comment and our response. Would it do we still pick up sticks on Fridays until the ordinances? I mean, I felt like that was.
We have to, if it's in our ordinance now, because we have not approved these, we have to do it.
And why are we changing the ordinance?
They're not checked.
So it's the ordinance is for the chipping specifically. There's been a lack of use on the chipper. And for that, obviously the sticks can still be picked up. It'd just be a clamshell with the backhoe. But if we're not chipping, that chipper's sitting there not being used.
And why are we not chipping?
Numerous reasons. One of those being one staff made mention about not being trained on it. This was a while ago. Two, the leaf boxes had nothing but issues, right? And that's where it would be chipped into. It's one of those, it's going to be either stuck in a pile in chippings or it's going to be burnt. I think it would take up less space being burnt as it is rather than a pile of chippings that you can't really burn. They just smolder. So that's about the best I got for you.
So if they do have a pile of limbs, not to be chipped, but just a pile on Fridays, they can anticipate those being picked up?
Yeah.
I see a head shaking, yes.
So we can expect them, so we can expect this to be picked up on Friday.
Yes, ma'am.
And
I love the park.
Which park?
on county, our leads are like that.
Absolutely.
Trucks down there.
Okay.
Huh?
The trucks down there right now.
Okay.
So we'll get those gathered and. Any other on the table concerns? Alright. Kenny, you got anything else?
Actually, I'd do something I did forget. I'd ran this through Ingrid just to make sure, but, I did create a summer sprinkling credit application. I left some up there. Since that is set and
Yeah.
to be able to take effect. So anybody who wants to take advantage of that, they will need to submit an application this month in order to do that. Later ordinance may end up stating, if the council approves, that you can only get that or a leak adjustment if the council's able to approve a leak adjustment later on. But for right now, we do have the summer sprinkling credit application ready.
Thank you for that.
Got it?
That motion or,
I'll make a motion.
yeah, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
All in favor? Approved. Thank you, everybody.